Section 1, the circulatory system. How many materials move through the body? It's time to get ready for school, but your younger sister is taking a long time in the shower. Don't use up all the water, you shout. Water is carried through your house in pipes that are part of the plumbing system. The plumbing system supplies water for all your needs and carries away waste. Just as expect water to flow when you turn on the faucet, your body needs continuous supply of oxygen and nutrients and a way to remove waste. In a similar way, materials are moved throughout your body by your cardiovascular system. It includes your heart, kilometers of blood vessels, and blood. Blood vessels carry the blood to every part of your body, as shown in Figure 1. Blood moves oxygen and nutrients to cells and carries carbon dioxide and other waste away from the cells. Sometimes the blood carries substances made in one part of the body to another part of the body where they are needed. Movement of material in and out of your cells occurs by diffusion and active transport. Diffusion occurs when materials move from an area to where there is more of it to an area where there is less of it. Active transport is the opposite of diffusion. Active transport requires energy, but diffusion does not. The heart. Your heart is an organ made of cardiac muscle tissue. It is located behind your breastbone, called the sternum, and between your lungs. Your heart has 4 compartments called chambers. The 2 upper chambers are called the right and left atriums. The 2 lower chambers are called the right and left ventricles. During one heartbeat, both atriums contract at the same time. Then both ventricles contract at the same time. A one-way valve separates each atrium from the ventricle below it. The blood flows only in one direction from an atrium to a ventricle, then from a ventricle into the blood vessel. A wall prevents blood from flowing between the 2 atriums or the 2 ventricles. This wall keeps blood rich in oxygen separate from blood low in oxygen. If oxygen-rich blood and oxygen-poor blood were to mix, your body's cells would not get all the oxygen they need. Scientists have divided circulatory system into 3 sections: coronary circulation, pulmonary circulation, and systemic circulation. The heart, the beating of your heart, controls the blood flow through each section. Coronary circulation. Your heart has its own blood vessels that supply it with nutrients and oxygen to remove waste. Coronary circulation, as shown in Figure 2, is the flow of blood to and from tissues of the heart. When the coronary circulation is blocked, oxygen and nutrients cannot reach all the cells of the heart. This can result in a heart attack. Pulmonary circulation. The flow of the heart through the heart and the lungs and back to the heart is pulmonary circulation. Use Figure 3 to trace the path of blood through this part of the circulatory system. The blood returning from the body through the right side of the heart and to the lungs contains cellular waste. The waste includes molecules of carbon dioxide and other substances. In the lung, gaseous waste diffuse out of the blood and oxygen diffuses into the blood. Then the blood returns to the left side of the heart in the final step of pulmonary circulation. The oxygen-rich blood is pumped from the left ventricle into the aorta, the largest artery in your body. Next, the oxygen-rich blood flows to all parts of your body. Systemic circulation. Oxygen-rich blood moves to all of your body and body's tissues, except the heart and lungs, by systemic circulation. The oxygen-poor blood returns to the heart. Systemic circulation is the largest of the 3 sections of your circulatory system. Figure 4 shows the major arteries and veins of the systemic circulation system. Oxygen-rich blood flows from your heart and the arteries of this system. Then nutrients and oxygen are delivered by blood to your body cells in exchange for carbon dioxide and waste. Finally, the blood returns to your heart and the veins of systemic circulation system. Blood vessels. In the middle 1600s, scientists proved that blood moves in one direction in a blood vessel, like traffic on a one-way street. They discovered that blood moves from the pumping of the heart and flowing of the arteries to veins. But they could not explain how blood gets from arteries to veins. Using a new invention of the time, the microscope, scientists discovered capillaries, the connection between arteries and veins. Arteries. As blood is pumped out of the heart, it travels through the arteries, capillaries, and then veins. Arteries are blood vessels that carry blood away from the heart. Arteries shown in Figure 5a have thick elastic walls made of connective tissue and smooth muscle tissue. Each ventricle of the heart is connected to an artery. The right ventricle is connected to the pulmonary artery. The left ventricle is attached to the aorta. Every time your heart contracts, blood is moved from your heart into arteries. Veins. The blood vessels that carry blood back to the heart are called veins. As shown in Figure 5b, veins have one-way valves that keep blood moving toward the heart. If blood flows backwards, the pressure of the blood against the valve causes them to close. The flow of blood in veins also helped by your skeletal muscles. When skeletal muscles contract, the veins in the muscles are squeezed and help blood move toward the heart. Two major veins return blood from your body to your heart. The superior vena cava returns blood from your head and neck. Blood from your abdomen and lower body returns to the inferior vena cava. Capillaries. Capillaries. Arteries and veins that are connected by microscopic blood vessels are called capillaries, as shown in Figure 5c. Right here, smallest are capillaries. The walls of capillaries are only 1 cell thick. You can see capillaries when you have bloodshot eyes. They are tiny red lines you see in the white area of your eye. Nutrients in the oxygen diffuse into body cells through thin capillary walls. Waste materials and carbon dioxide diffuse from body cells into capillaries. Blood pressure. If you fill a balloon with water and then push on it, the pressure moves through the water in all directions, as shown in Figure 6. Your circulatory system is like the water balloon. When your heart pumps blood through the circulatory system, the pressure of the push moves through the blood. The force of the blood on the walls of the blood vessels is called blood pressure. This pressure is highest in arteries and lowest in veins. When you take your pulse, you can feel the waves of pressure. The rise and fall of pressure occurs with each heartbeat. Normal resting pulse rates are 60 to 100 beats per minute. For adults, 80 to 900 beats per minute for children. The smaller the animal, the higher the heartbeat. Measuring blood pressure. Blood pressure is measured in large arteries and expressed by two numbers, such as 120/80. The first number is the measure of the pressure caused when the ventricle contracts and the blood is pushed out of the heart. This is called systolic pressure. Then blood pressure drops and the ventricle reacts. The second number is measured diastolic. Pressure then occurs in the ventricles filled with blood just before they contract again. Controlling blood pressure. Your body tries to keep blood pressure normal. Special nerve cells in the walls of some arteries sense the change in blood pressure. When pressure is higher or lower than normal, messages are sent to your brain by these nerve cells. Then are sent to your brain to raise or lower pressure by speeding up or slowing down the heart rate, for example. This helps keep blood pressure constant within your arteries. When blood pressure is constant, enough blood reaches all organs and tissues in your body and delivers needed nutrients to every cell. Visualizing atherosclerosis. This article talks about the hardening of arteries. where partially clogged by plaque caused by excess cholesterol. Cardiovascular disease. Any disease that affects the cardiovascular system, the heart, blood vessels, or blood, can seriously affect the health of your entire body. People often think that cancer and automobile accidents is the leading cause of death in the United States. However, heart disease is the leading cause of death. Atherosclerosis. One leading cause of heart disease is called atherosclerosis. In this condition, shown in Figure 7, fatty deposits build up in the arterial walls. Eating foods high in cholesterol and saturated fats can cause these deposits to form. Atherosclerosis can occur in any artery in the body, but deposits in the coronary arteries are especially serious. If a coronary artery is blocked, a heart attack can occur. Open heart surgery may then be needed to correct the problem. Hypertension. Another condition of cardiovascular system is called hypertension or high blood pressure. Figure 8 shown in instruments used to measure blood pressure. When blood pressure is higher than normal, most of the time extra strain is placed on the heart. The heart must work harder to keep blood flowing. One cause of hypertension is atherosclerosis. A clogged artery can increase pressure within the vessel. The wall becomes stiff and hard like a metal pipe. The artery wall no longer contracts and dilates easily because they have lost their elasticity. They're no longer stretchy, they're hard and brittle, and then they burst or break. Heart failure. Heart failure results when the heart cannot pump blood efficiently. It might be caused when the heart muscle tissue is weakened by disease or when the heart valves do not work properly. When the heart does not pump blood properly, fluids collect in the arms, legs, and lungs. People with heart failure usually are short of breath and tired and have swellings in their extremities like arms and legs. Preventing cardiovascular disease. Having a healthy lifestyle is important for the health of your cardiovascular system. The choices you make to maintain good health may reduce your risk of future serious illnesses. Regular checkups and healthful diet, exercise are part of a healthful lifestyle. Many diseases, including cardiovascular disease, can be prevented by following a good diet. Choose foods that are low in salt, sugar, cholesterol, and saturated fats, all of which are delicious. Being overweight is associated with heart disease and high blood pressure. Large amounts of body fat force the heart to pump faster. Learning to relax and having a regular program of exercise can help prevent tension and relieve stress. Exercise also strengthens the heart and lungs, helps in controlling cholesterol, tones muscles, and helps lower blood pressure. Another way to prevent cardiovascular disease is to not smoke. Smoking causes blood vessels to contract, as shown in Figure 9, and prevents the heart from beating faster and harder. Smoking also increases carbon monoxide levels in the blood. Not smoking helps prevent heart disease and a number of respiratory systems and problems. Please complete the section assessment questions. Number 1, compare and contrast the structures of the 3 types of blood vessels. You'll find that at the top of this page, right here, Figure 5, A, B, C, and D. Smooth lining, connective tissues, smooth muscles, elective connective tissues, and capillaries. Arteries, veins, and capillaries. That's looking for question number 1. Number 2, explain the pathway of blood through the heart. For this, you're explaining how it goes from the ventricles and arteries and back to the ventricles and arteries. Ventricles and atriums. Atriums, ventricles, atrium, ventricles. Veins and arteries, which goes which. Contrast pulmonary and systemic circulation. Pulmonary is heart and lungs. Systemic is everything else. Identify which vessels carry oxygen-rich blood. We've done that on the board already. Oxygen-rich blood is carried by what? Anybody? Oxygen-rich blood is carried in the arteries. Number 4, explain how exercise can help prevent heart disease and makes your heart and lungs stronger. Number 5, think critically what waste products builds up the blood and cells when the heart is unable to pump efficiently, and you'll find that answer right in here, right in this section right here around Figure 9. And that is all for for this screencast for circulatory system. Does anyone in period 4 want to give a shout out before I shut this off?
Hi.
Thank you very much, period 4. Mr. Ruby, over now.